Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review. This is episode number 40, and this one is reviewing the 40th episode of the Boruto Naruto Next Generation series. This is Team 7 First Mission. Good name for it. It kind of picks up where the last episode left off with just them going on a mission. So, and you actually achieve something I've never seen before whenever they get their. It's kind of a different area what they went through. Um, because you never got a chance to see the original Team Seven's first mission at all. Because apparently all they did was look for like lost cats or something. Yeah, which Naruto was bored with and decided to do something more interesting. So Baruto's team, well, Team Konohama's first mission is to go to a village to stop a group of bandits from another village raiding this small village near the border of the land of fire and the land of wind. Interesting. So for what they describe it, it's a D rank mission. Okay, fine. Baruto doesn't have a problem with that because a mission is a mission. He's not going to complain at all. He wants something like really interesting, and this one does seem kind of interesting to him, stopping bandits. Okay, so they go on the mission, and this is something I've got to point this out. You know how most of the characters in the whole franchise put their arms backwards and they run? Yeah, Baruto doesn't do that at all. Nope. Konohamaru, Mitsuki, and Sadara all do it, but apparently Boruto just doesn't care to do that at all for some strange reason. Despite the fact almost every single other character in the whole franchise is known for doing this, but apparently Boruto just doesn't care or just doesn't bother to do it at all. So they had to stop. Well, one thing I do appreciate for this episode, you got a chance to see Naruto, Shikamaru, Hinata, and Hiwambi. And of course, Baruto asked his mom, like, what was her first mission like? She was very nervous on her first mission. Yeah, this is kind of true because from what I've heard, because a lot of her missions were done off screen. Yeah, she most of the time basically couldn't do much of anything. She was scared half the time, which is indeed true. Yeah, where she was very nervous. Though she didn't talk about her first mission that much. Just all she said she was just nervous, like really scared. Though it was risky times. It was a time of war. Though it wasn't a war actually happening at that point, but it was risky missions. So there's that. So it goes off as missions to wrap up quick. Yep. So they go off, get their mission. Of course, they get their mission. Of course, I would think that Naruto would stop getting on this little high horse, thinking that Baruto is kind of like him, complaining about missions, stuff like that. And yet, half the time I think Naruto forgets that he had low rank missions like him. hmm So yeah. So and also just by sheer coincidence, Team 10 has got their first mission. Though for some reason their sensei does not make an appearance this episode. Yeah, their sensei is Mogi, an old friend Konohamaru's. Yep. And their mission is to escort a rich lady on a shopping spree. That's basically it. That is their mission. And it's Inojin and Shikadai holding all the bags while Chocho and the rich lady get a chance to have chats. Excuse me. So they don't exactly reveal what the other teams are up to, but hey, they said that it was Shikadai's first mission today, so why not? That's what they said. So they so back to Team Seven. They had to stop like halfway to where the village they went so they could talk for a bit about teamwork. Like they had to show off teamwork, and Sadara was like, "Don't put a failure on my record on my way to become Okage." Yeah, she's like really obsessed with it. I mean, here's kind of the thing: Naruto didn't exactly do. Yeah, he kept dreaming of Okage, but he wasn't worried about his record per se a lot of the time, which was odd. Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, Sadara was like very obsessed with becoming Okage. That's basically the way she is when it comes to that. So they're somewhat in agreement. So there are things here and there. It's like, and when they get to the village, they are meted by an old man. Well, first you get a chance to see the village head, who was a teenager, a girl, who is revealed to be the daughter of the previous village head who died 3 months prior. Suddenly, but this is before they had to bring down the bridge. Apparently, it was kind of like a drawbridge per se, where they had to ring a bell and then the bridge is up and they had to bring it down and then walk across and talk to the guy. And Konohama was like is acting like something's like very suspicious here. Like the previous layer died all of a suddenly. Hmm. To me, that sounds kind of familiar. Where they said, "Oh, their previous head died all very suddenly." Well, that kind of reminds me of a filler arc from Naruto. I think it was season 4 when he and Team Guy went to the land of stars. Well, the village hidden under the stars. Yeah, that's what kind of reminded me of. It reminded me of that one. Though the thing is, that was the mission that Naruto decided to stick his nose in by bribing Tsunade with a chocolate bar. Yep. In the case, this was an official mission, and Boruto was already on it. So, and the way that the old man describes the previous head, yeah, and Boruto's like thinking in his head, that sounds like my dad. Where he says he treats like the village like family, and that he would die for the village. Yeah, it sounds a lot like Naruto. Yep. Though maybe they're gonna talk about that next episode. Yep. So they go meet the village head, and they try to figure out exactly like what they introduce themselves like. And she's very curious, like because she's a little worried that they send kids to deal with this. And Konohama is like, I vouch for their skill, which makes sense because he's their sensei. After all, he was teaching Naruto he was teaching Boruto some stuff off screen, mind you. Yeah, he was teaching him several styles that he used during the Hidden Mist arc. Yep. So they talk for a bit, and then at some point he asked the team to leave. Though Boruto's like, why? Why we have to leave for? And of course, Sutter had to drag him out with his coat. Yep. And so they talk for a bit and of course they talk outside. And of course they agree that they can't just abandon the mission halfway through. And both Sadara and Mitsuke is obviously agreeing with this right away, and Sadara surprisingly agreed with this as well. And after talking a little while, they hear like some commotion. And they go run toward it, and it's another shinobi. Yeah, the reason why they asked to leave the room is because the bandits hired shinobi. That's basically the reason why. So yeah, and of course Boruto ends up fighting the other shinobi briefly, and then Konohamaru comes out of nowhere, fends the guy off, and of course she reveals a little more information. And the reason the bandits are actually coming there is because of this what's inside this box. Yep. So the kind of only at first they started like a brief fire, and then they hear some other commotion, and it turns out one guy under a jutsu. Excuse me, and someone put the whole village under jutsu, with the exception of the village head, surprisingly. Yeah, and she's like, "What's going on? What are you all doing?" And of course, one of them takes her hostage, and Mitsuke's like, "Okay, since they're under jutsu, we cannot kill them." And Konohama's like, "Yeah, we can't do. Yeah, I agree. We it's a good idea not to kill them." So he suppressed his wind style breakthrough, and they all just got knocked out cold. Some of them went flying per se, but they're perfectly fine because I think even Mitsuke was trying to, well, even Konohama was trying to make sure these villagers were not hurt because they're just under a jutsu. And Boruto was like, "Where's the village head?" Because even though they're all down, he's looking for the village head, which makes sense. He would do that because he did see her get taken. And it turns out the guy who took her was actually the one casting the jutsu, the genjutsu. And of course, they also show the villains, which show this guy in a cave per se. Like for some reason, he's under like some makeup, and some other guy with a beard. Don't know who these people are. Maybe we'll find out next episode. So yeah, they go off to search for the village head, and that's kind of where the episode ends. I didn't expect this one to be a two-parter, but I mean, I was expecting maybe just a standalone episode, but a two-parter, okay, fine. So, looks like it's going to wrap up next episode with apparently Konohama giving orders that, well, he's going to take out the hired shinobi. Boruto, Sadara, and Mitsuke are going to go rescue the village head, which that seems like a perfectly good idea to do. Probably because Konohamaru was more experienced in handling this stuff. Fine. But as for, of course, the episode next week is called Strength and Unity, and it kind of looks like you get a chance to see. Looks like in the preview, it kind of looks like that Boruto's gonna get a chance to talk to Village for a bit, probably about his father as well. It kind of looks like it's gonna happen next episode. All right, so that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for next week for, of course, episode 41, Strength and Unity. Well, I think it's supposed to be the conclusion to this two-parter, because it kind of looks like a two-parter anyways. Okay? But we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.